try speak English. You know what I'm
saying?
You know what I'm saying? You know, so obviously loved that.
And there's that same school.
No.
Guys, the English we're speaking today, I know a lot of people think we went maybe to like good schools. No. Guys, at some point, we didn't know English.
This is the Hustlers Corner.
Hustlers and squatters, brothers and sisters, world, welcome to the Hustlers Corner. Thank you so much for joining us. We broadcasting all the way from Johannesburg in South Africa. First up, straight up to that sub sign. As usual, let's click that like button on the count of 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Click, 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 click. Thank you. Let's go to that subscription button as well. Click. Don't forget to switch on the notification bell so it lets you know, it alerts you when we've got brand new episodes that are dropping. I appreciate you guys. Go to the description there. Click on the Virtual Mkuku link. It'll take you to our Virtual Mkuku podcast. Subscribe there so you become a part of the family. I also put in a link of Penuel's YouTube channel. Follow him. I've also put in a link of my own personal DJ Smooth YouTube channel. Click it as well so you also become a part of the family. But the most important one is you have to join and become an official member, guys. If you think or you feel the type of content that we give you from this podcast is, let me say, it warrants you giving us at least a subscription of a minimum R9.99 a month. Subscribe, become a member, give us $10 for all of this knowledge that we give you guys so we can keep the lights on, right? So there's different, membership perks there that you can get. The highest perks, or let me say the most expensive one, is you becoming a personal friend of the podcast. You're going to have our number. We're going to be in touch. If you want to see us, you want to spend some time visiting us here, we want you to become a member. The person that I have here has become a media mogul in the country. He's an entrepreneur. He was in the music industry at some point. He was formerly known as Mandla Ndimande. He's a South African musician. He's a producer. He is a very prominent member of the music group Gang of Instrumentals. Now, some of you guys who are my age, who come from my generation, you know. We all come from those days of our TS Records, Nabo Gang of Instrumentals, our City Ses'la, that is his television career. He played a role as an actor himself at the time, Themba Khumalo, on SABC1's sitcom, City Ses'la. He did that for about 5 years. He continued to play the role in spinoff series, but in Ses'Top. He's from AVDA, guys. He has been an entrepreneur who has basically evolved into different industries. Right now, he owns a company called Black Brain Pictures, and he is a boy from Ejozi. He's risen through the ranks of this industry from nothing at the bottom all the way to where he is right now. Let me not read the story here. Let me let him tell it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Mandla N.
Hey, man, it's good to be here. Bunjani, my brother?
Good to see you, my brother.
Hey, man, always great to see you. Always great to see you.
It's always great to see you, and it's a cool song.
Yeah. Obviously, it's hard times. I mean, I just heard you say City Ses'la, speak about City Ses'la, and, we lost, my on-screen wife, Upumzi.
Oh, yeah. So
Sis, you know what I mean? And obviously created magic with her. I mean, that's been kind of like our longest, couple relationship on screen since City Ses'la, Ses'Top, and now this, So it's just, registering with this answer.
Yeah, and condolences to Sisbus.
No, definitely.
Sure. No. Sorry about that, man.
No, it's all good.
It quite hurts. I mean, the last time I just recently been watching her on Netflix.
Yeah.
On the Christmas.
How to Ruin Christmas.
How to Ruin Christmas. And I actually watched both of them. She
Oh,
was
okay.
incredible.
She's really, really great. I mean, amazing at what she does. Great command of language and craft, and since she started on City Ses'la, we were both young back then, all the way to the work that she's doing now. But no matter how you look at it, gone too soon, man. I think this was just the beginning of the whole world seeing her work, and that was on How to Ruin Christmas. So obviously she had so much to do, especially on a global platform.
Yeah. And let me congratulate you as well for recognizing people's talents and working with all these amazing talented people.
I think you know where we're from. This is where we started. It's always been about recognizing talent, looking at the talent, and knowing exactly what you can do with that talent and taking it to the right platforms. I mean, you've done that for a number of years. We know huge brands in South Africa because of you. Especially from the music side of things. And for me, it's that from a TV and film side of things. I love recognizing talent, mining talent, bringing them to Joburg, and then boom, then it's something else. Especially people like Abubusi Lukhai, Trevor Kumbi, Thomas Kumete, Skumba. Those are people that started within the Black Brain platforms, and now they're huge. You know what I mean? So it's something that I'm really passionate about. But now I've reached an era where I'm doing a lot more training now.
Yeah. Before you're a media mogul, let's support Boyintwana or Mintos. How did it all start and where did it start?
I mean, I'm Pumekasi, bro. You know what I mean? I'm from Pimville, Soweto. You know very well. It started with the love of entertainment and media. And there was one show that changed my life. Actually, two. The first one is Martin Lawrence. I remember when Martin Lawrence hit our screens with Shenane, with obviously all those different characters. Rome, you know what I mean? So obviously after they play, we'd come out and obviously try speak English. You know what I'm saying? So obviously loved that.
And there's that famous call.
No.
Guys, the English we're speaking today. I know a lot of people think we went maybe to like good schools. No. Guys, at some point, we didn't know English. You say whatever you think the song is saying.
Definitely. Give out. I mean, for a while, we thought that was the lyrics. Those were the lyrics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, things like that. So obviously, Martin Lawrence hit the screen. I was like, wow, this is what I want to do. I want to get into the arts, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know the channels. And then when I saw shows my dad was a huge fan of Abovela, P, Scooty Snice, and all of that. So we would sit and just watch those, And Sundays, I remember Sundays, Begdala Makarati, where after Makarati had played outside, the whole of Soweto, you'd see people, and they be about 3 o'clock midday, and then at about 4:30, the whole street is basically, doing martial arts out in the streets. So I'm from that culture. Also the culture of, broadcast where you were about the Rose of Soweto after they fought, we would come out the street and march, you know what I mean? Because the Rose of Soweto won, about Dingantobela, and also as well when Bafana used to win, you know what I mean? Broadcast was a different energy then. We would march on the streets and it would be like a rally, And that's where I fell in love with broadcast. And then from there, straight after matric, I was like, I want to basically study this. I want to take it further. And how do I go in? And my entry point was acting. City Ses'la. That was my entry point into the market. And then Gang of Instrumentals came. Nakwana, young Shais.
Are you saying City Ses'la happened before Gang of Instrumentals?
Yeah, it did.
Is it?
Yeah, it did.
And City Ses'la was not yours?
No, City Ses'la was mine. It's always been mine. But it happened before Gang of Instrumentals. The Gang of Instrumentals, the Ing Shai Seed, we recorded, but then, the music didn't really go out like that in the beginning.
Yeah, because at the time you're working with Themba, ne?
Yes, Themba. And then obviously...
And then Pongo Riot.
Then Pongo Riot came,
Ses'Top,
you know what I mean? Then Ses'Top came through. And, I was just supposed to go there and manage and be in studio, but then, Hype Man, loved their microphone. And then it started Gang of Instrumentals. And a footy Gang of Instrumentals, it took a huge rise when SABC was not commissioning anymore because they went through a huge drop in the economy. At some point, you know what I mean? And then that's when I focused on Gang of Instrumentals, really put in the time on Gang of Instrumentals, and it clicked, man. It was there. And you remember, from your days at YFM, you used to really support us, play our music and all sorts of things. So, from that rise, it created, it became something else in terms of Gang of Instrumentals.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my growth point.
It's not a lot of people that get to act on a play that they wrote. How did that happen, City Ses'la?
You know how it happened then? When I was at college, we submitted. You as SAPC there, Auckland Park, submitted the stuff. We were still studying then. And then obviously they rejected everything till they had a show that was cancelled. Timing was everything. I was just right submission at the right time. There was a show that was cancelled. They phoned me and said, look, you know what, Koni show by cancelile. Can you produce this show? But you've got 4 months to basically write it and put it on air. So now I was like, okay, cool, you know what, but I don't really have a company or anything like that. And me and my colleagues are still at school, all of that. And they're like, okay, cool, fine. We'll give you a full-on crash course in the entertainment industry while you produce the show called City Ses'la. And then I remember I used to, do crash courses in finance. I mean, there's a floor at SABC, after the 12th, 13th floor, you get the accountants. And accountants, by that time, accountants and lawyers, by that time of SABC were all Afrikaans. So obviously I used to spend my afternoons, you know what I mean? Because they were, for the first time, they trusting me. I'm 19 with 19 million rand. Yeah, not 19, sorry, 6 million rand, because it was 13 episodes. So for them, they were like, no, there's no way we can risk this. But they had to do it because it was, BEE at the time. You understand, the country was changing. So I was also their experiment, and they gave me a great crash course from season 1 to then season 2, when I was basically holding my own and all the way till now. Then just grew the portfolio from there.
No, I summarize. Because a lot of people want to know, like, how does one become? You see, the thing is, in Tonazet, they'll see you as a mogul. But you're not a media mogul.
No,
you just were a young guy who had an idea and you'd pitch one show that you wanted to act in it.
Yeah.
And then all the way up until today.
Sure. No problem. I mean, also as well, when they phoned me, I remember when Sekasi, I get a phone call. They're like, hey, you need to come through to the studio. We're thinking of commissioning you. And they were like, okay, cool, who's going to direct it? I was like, okay, I've got my guys at school. We're going to do it. Who's going to act in it? Yeah, we're going to do it because...
So after that time?
No, say after.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to...
you pitched the show while you were still a student?
Yeah. Because remember, after is a walking distance to SABC.
Yeah.
So obviously for me, I'm thinking, guys, we are already doing the work here after. And when you are at film school, it feels like it's your own little Hollywood.
Yeah.
So already you're feeling like, you're already producing content. You're acting every day. You're doing all sorts of things. Now it's just, after, SABC is a walk away. How can you take it to the next step? And and then they've phoned us and they said, who's going to write, who's going to produce? And we're like, yeah, we're already doing the work. We're at after, we're going to do everything. And they're like, okay, sharp, we're going to take the risk, but you need to put it together in 4 months. We went back to the drawing board, got writers, contracted writers, contracted executive producers. I remember they assigned us to a co-production, which was the Indimo.
In the mall,
yeah. In the mall.
They used to be in Sunning Hill at the time.
Sunning Hill, yeah. And it had a UCO called Harry Linders at the time. Yeah. So he was the CEO there. And obviously SABC brought them on board to kind of hold our hands. And then they did that for first season. Did that, and we acted in it. Wrote all the scripts, everything. And at the time, when you looked at TV, it was very, basically a white guy can speak to a black guy. The black guy is speaking Venekmara. They understood each other. So for us, for the very first time, we're like, no, you must acknowledge the fact that, if you speak English and I speak Zulu, I can't understand you. You know what I mean? It's not like, we can understand each other. A Venek person cannot understand a white guy, and a white guy cannot understand a Venek guy when he's speaking Zulu to him and then they answer in English. No, it doesn't work like that. So for the first time, it was really, really new. And we based our concept on Friends. I don't know if you remember.
I remember Friends, yeah.
The sitcom.
Yeah.
Cool. Big time. You know what I mean? And we based it around that. And then obviously after the third episode, it became the highest watched sitcom in the country. So obviously from there, Nati, we were like, okay, cool, this is it. This we are now in. So obviously from a school point of view, they started looking at us differently because now you're on TV every day. And then when you are on TV every day, there's something about people's eyes, man. You know what I mean? When you go out on the streets and everything, people are looking at you 24/7. And it starts creating some complex. It basically messes with your mind. So now I was all of a sudden a different person. Still a young man, but mentally I was now different. I was going, okay, cool. I've got this huge platform and this huge brand. How can I use it? And then I started writing proposal. I mean, my motto used to be 3 proposals a week. Then got sponsorship, car sponsorship. I mean, I've never bought a car in my life, car sponsorships. We got, gear sponsorships. We got all sorts of things so that when Gang of Instrumentals came, everything was just sponsored from then. Only because everything, in my head was, I'm already a brand. Everything is a proposal away. And meanwhile, I was just a mini little brand. And it was just my psychological journey that said, no, 3 proposals a week. That's our motto. That's what we got to do. And, obviously everything then grew from there. As I said, after the 3rd episode became the highest watched sitcom. From there, SABC was like, okay, we're going to give you 2 more seasons while this one is playing. And I remember the first SAFTAs. That year when we dropped City Ses'la, it was the first time the SAFTAs were happening in South Africa. And we cleaned up everything. I think we got about 13 SAFTAs that night, only because it was something new. You know what I mean? It was these young guys, in a loft, and we were just making everybody laugh. You know what I mean? And it was very different to the old school type sitcoms. And yeah, that's pretty much been that side of the journey.
I remember.
And then,
sorry, go ahead.
No, and then from there, we started then going, okay, cool. Since we are in the comedy space, SABC was like, all right, what's next? What can you give me? Then you had subsidiaries such as Abo Tandaga's Diary that we created, that had Abo Skumba. And then...
There was Nomzamo, ne?
Yeah. No, Nomzamo, Abo Mzala.
Oh, Abomzala, yes.
Created Abomzala, so then we really get entrenched in the sitcom space.
And then the growth?
Then, the growth from there was incredible because, all those had about 3 or 4 seasons each. You know what I mean? Abomzala, Tandaga's Diary, also created things like Samsokolo from Mzansi Magic. We created things like, shows such as Lockdown. When Lockdown came, that was my turning point in terms of the industry going, okay, he's not just a comedy creator, but a content creator within the industry. Because when I pitched to SABC, they were like, no, Mandla, give us comedies. You are the comedy guy. With broadcasters, they box you a bit. They're like, okay, cool. You know what? If you're going to create, if you are the comedy supplier, that's you the go-to guy when it comes to comedy. But then you had other guys that were supplying drama and all sorts of things. But for me, I was like, guys, I studied this. I'm a storyteller. I enjoy storytelling. I'm not just comedy. They're like, no, Mandla, when you just give us more seasons of City Ses'la, more seasons of Tandaga's Diary, more seasons of Abomzala. And then I pitched Lockdown to SABC, and they were like, no, man, that's not going to work. First of all, it's too ambitious, prison, And then took it to Mzansi Magic. And we launched Mzansi Magic when it started with the Mzansi movies. Remember those Mzansi movies?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Lokshin Bioscopes.
Yeah,
They were called Lokshin Bioscopes. So I did the very first one, the very first Lokshin Bioscope. I recorded that, So therefore I had an in there. And then I presented Lockdown. They also were like, no, man, give us some so-called, give us sitcoms. Because we were really great at sitcoms. We were the leading service provider when it came to sitcoms. And then they were like, no, just give us some so-called. Created some so-called, but I wasn't fulfilled, man. I knew with Ishman, I want to create drama. I want to break through into the drama space. Because dramas, they've got higher cost per minute, higher budgets. You understand? And also as well, with drama.
Oh, school us, I didn't know that. So, say that again. Don't be in a hurry.
Okay.
You're saying dramas have got higher cost per minute. What is a cost per minute?
Cost per minute is, obviously a sitcom is 24 minutes and the other 6 minutes is ads.
Or this is the 30 minutes
program
that I would watch on TV.
That you would watch
so
on
out
TV.
of that 30 minutes, 24 of it is the content.
Me, I love
6 minutes is adverts.
Yeah, and
please break it down.
I love breaking it down. That's why I enjoy breaking those type of things down.
Sure.
So what happens is when you present a show, they'll say, okay, cool, give us 24 minutes. But to the general masses, it's 30 minutes. You understand, Tina? We know it as it's either a 30-minute show or an hour show.
Yeah.
But really, it's a 24-minute show or a 48-minute show. You know what I mean? The rest of the 6 minutes is preserved for ads. You know what I mean? Sometimes they'll say 22 minutes and then the 8 is preserved for ads. And you must understand, on our show, one ad at some point was going for 120,000 rand per 30 minutes. 30 seconds, sorry. So now if you're looking at 120,000 rand times 6 minutes, that's what, how many 30s? Understand?
Yes.
That's a lot of money that they make just off a 24-minute show.
But when as a supplier,
That's the business.
you meant to give them the 24 minutes.
If
they gave you a 30-minute show.
You are contracted to give them 24 minutes.
Okay.
Or sometimes 22, depending on how popular your show is.
Yes.
If your show is really popular, it will be 22 minutes. And then now, Tina, we fight. No, but how can we tell a story in 22 minutes? They don't care. Remember, broadcasting is run by accountants, my brother. It's all a financial game.
And if they're saying, if they're saying one season, how long is one season or how many episodes is one season?
One season is usually 13 episodes. 13 episodes,
okay.
Yes. So what they'll do is they'll basically commission you for one season in South Africa, just to test the market. One season, 13 episodes.
If your idea is working,
and if they like it, they go, here's 2 seasons, 26 episodes. And if it's really amazing, they'll go, here's 52. And then that's where you want to get to. Actually, where you want to get to in broadcast is when you've got telenovela, which means you are shooting every day.
What is a telenovela?
A telenovela is, is kind of like shows such as Generations, Uzalo, Isibaya. Well, obviously Isibaya is not there anymore. The River. It basically broadcasts every single day. Nice thing about that is then you can really employ people long-term. You can have long-term contracts.
And not as your employees, as actors, now we are able to go and
buy cars,
have a bond,
buy a
house, buy a car.
Yeah.
Because now I can commit to those payments because I know Petit Spani that is employing me at least for a minimum of maybe a year. Or 3 years.
A year or 3. I mean, look at Generations. How long has Generations been running? How long has Muvango been running? You understand? So those people can really build, they can really change lives, And as a production company, that's definitely where you want to get to. Obviously now, I've been blessed with obviously Deep City, which is on Mzansi Magic, and Black Door, which is the controversial Black Door, which is now on ETV.
Interesting one. The other day, best interview with Linda.
Yes.
Yeah, she didn't reveal too much.
Okay, no. I'm good.
She made me like, I can't wait to go check it out. Okay. So that's the new work. Before Skubeka put Mandla, what is an AFP?
An AFP. It's basically advertiser funded project. You know what I mean? That's an AFP. Advertiser funded.
How does it work?
How an AFP works is, what will happen is if let's say you are the broadcaster being SABC, being Mzansi Magic, being ETV, when you will not commission us. Because if you commission us, then it's not an AFP. It's not an advertiser funded. It's basically commissioned by a broadcaster. But if a brand, Mofire says, okay, Mandla, you are a great content creator. You create nice content. Tina, as Mofire, we would like to create 13 episodes of a local story-centered ekasi. We are going to basically fund you with about 13 episodes from outside. Then together with Mofire, we go to you as the broadcaster. SABC. Me, I've got Mofire, who's basically a brand. They want to fund me to basically create a show for you. You benefit. They benefit from an advertiser funded. And I benefit because now I've got the money to create content. And that's why they call it an AFP, advertiser funded program.
Oh, and how does it differ from a normal commissioned?
All right. Now
program?
A commission, remember, you are the broadcaster. I'm the production company, Black Brain. I came with Mofire to you to say we've together have money thanks to Mofire because they're a brand. They want to promote their brand. And we come to you and say we've already got money. We want to basically shoot the show. And then when you're like, okay, cool, I'll give you a slot as SABC or Mzansi Magic as the broadcaster. But then if you fully commission it, it means More Fire is not in the picture. It's just the content creator. You as the broadcaster come to me and say, here, I'm going to give you all the money that More Fire would have given you to create this content. So you fully commission me. SABC would fully commission me, Mzansi Magic would fully commission me, and obviously ETV would fully commission me. You understand? Instead of getting partnerships outside. Yeah. And the broadcasters always, they really enjoy AFPs because they still make the same amount of money. Remember, Bona, their revenue they make from ads. So if let's say in 1 minute, it's 2 ads. 2 ads is 1 minute because it's 30. 2 ads is 1 minute. So Bona, they will sell 6 minutes. So 6 times 2 is 12. And 30 seconds, let's say on Generations, at one point it was going for 180,000 rand. 180
for 30 seconds.
So 180 times 12?
Jesus. Yeah,
it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
1 episode. Remember, that's just 1 episode. You know what I mean? That's just 1 episode.
But they're not losing money because they did not commission it. It's
No.
But they're still making money.
If it's an AFP.
Yes, I get you.
But if it's Generations, it's their show.
Yes.
But either way, Mina, they'll say cost per minute. Usually there's costs per minute. Cost per minute it will range from either 12,000 or 13,000. If it's a really great show, you're getting more 20,000, 25,000 cost per minute.
And that money would be coming from a broadcaster if it's a commissioned show.
You are commissioning.
So they're giving you that amount per minute.
Yes.
So if your show is 24 minutes long, it's that amount times 24.
Times 24.
And they give you that to go create the content.
After I create the content, then I give it to you. And then when you are going to go charge More Fire for 30 seconds. If More Fire wants to buy 30 seconds
advertising
on that show,
space.
Advertising space, when you'll charge them, and that's where you make your profit as the broadcaster.
I get it.
Yeah.
Now this is an entrepreneur show, a hustler show.
Yeah.
Now I've got these shows. They're being commissioned. Some are AFPs. I'm growing as an entrepreneur. But how do I grow my business as a production company such that I've got longevity in the industry?
Yeah.
What I've seen a lot of people do is then they build studios.
Yes.
Then they even employ more people apart from just the actors.
Yeah.
Like the staff, the camera guys. Let's take us through that. So now I'm basically giving some sort of a mini masterclass to all potential filmmakers out there. Sure, let's go.
Yeah, this is a masterclass, and I'm passionate about this. Even on Friday, I'll be educating, extras and extras agencies, and also not broadcasters, guys that want to get into production.
Yeah, the future of the industry.
The future of the industry. Thank you very much.
Continue,
Thank you very much. So now, how then
do you scale up?
Yes.
Your film company, your production company.
In the beginning, the broadcaster will give me 13 episodes. I can't really do anything with that 13 episodes. I can't really get into long-term deals and contracts because 13 episodes is 2 months of shooting. And then everything collapses. Everything's done because I've given you 2 months. You've given me 2 months of work, which means I hire people for 2 months of work. So just one show doesn't give me much. It just gives me my production fee. My production fee, meaning my profits after I've delivered everything from the broadcaster. But now, if you give me 2 shows, then 2 shows, I calculate, okay, that's 4, potentially 5 months of work, still not enough to get into any heavy long-term things, long-term commitments. But I can basically hire people instead of a daily rate. I can basically go, okay, cool, let me give you a monthly rate.
Negotiate.
And now I can negotiate. Look, I'm employing you for 6 months, my brother. You know what I mean? Sharp, it's 2 shows, it's 2 different shows, but you, Sbu, as a DOP, you are going to, after this show, you are going on to the next show.
Sorry, what is a DOP?
A director of photography.
Okay.
You are the man that's going to shoot. Okay. So instead of contracting you for 2 different shows, I'm going to contract you from a black brain point of view, but you're going to give me 6 months of your service. But with broadcasters, maybe I can even have 2 productions, but I'm utilizing one DOP for 2 productions. And Now my negotiations becomes a little bit less because I'm giving you 6 months worth of work instead of 2 months.
So
And
now,
now when
at least you're employing me longer. Yes, I've negotiated with you. I've compromised with my rate, but at least you're giving me longer employment.
And now I'm doing the same with catering, with lighting, with everybody within the system. And then I start going, okay, cool. You know what? I don't only have 2 productions. Now, God has blessed me. I've got 4 or 5, which means I've got 2 years worth of work. How do I now I'm hiring on average, you hire per camera, you hire 12,000. The cameras that I shoot with, I hire them for 22,000 rand a day.
Sure.
Yeah.
Zabuya, boss. That's expensive, bro.
Now I go to the bank and I go, bank, can you please give me 2.5, 3 million to buy 1 camera?
And then what do you use to the bank as collateral?
After 6 months, I've already paid off those 2 cameras.
Yeah, but what do you use to the bank for the bank to borrow your money as collateral?
Contracts.
Oh, Gonzo, you already have a contract
I'm
from
very happy. I've
from
already
the
got work.
broadcaster.
I've got work from the contract.
So the bank can see this person.
I am 2 years in the game.
Oh, get you. So I can borrow you
Before
money.
I suffer, I've got 2 years.
Okay,
I've got 2 years lifeline. And now, remember, my camera, to hire a camera is 22,000 rand. You know what I mean? So that means after about a year, I've paid off that camera.
So instead of now hiring it for that 22,000 rands per
Now
day,
I'm hiring
now I
it
can
from
buy
me,
mine
you know?
actually.
And also I'm hiring it from me.
You're hiring it from yourself now, from your own company.
From your own business.
I get you.
You see?
And because every show that gets commissioned by the channel also does come with a budget of shooting it at some studio somewhere.
No one's gonna give you.
If you're clever,
you build your studios. Now.
You build your studios. Okay.
Now you start
Please,
building.
school us, my brother. We're learning here.
Now you start building your studios. You know what I mean? Or if you don't build your studios, now you start, and a footy, sometimes you don't even build your studios. You buy property. You know? Because you're going to shoot in different mansions. You know what I mean? That's how we got into property. Back in the day with Mba.
Yes.
Yeah.
With Titimba.
Yeah. So that was the whole.
Because it speaks to each other. It's an entire
connected.
ecosystem.
Everything is connected.
And then even the cars, the transport.
Everything is
As
connected.
you were saying earlier, you've never bought a car.
Everything is connected. You understand? It's a whole ecosystem. You know what I mean? But I mean, obviously, then you have that basically comes into play. You've got properties that come into play. You've got vehicles that come into play. You've got lights, everything. Once you've got 10 years worth of business, now you can say, okay, cool. Everything they can hire from your businesses.
So you don't have to go hire externally now.
That's how the likes of huge brand, businesses such as, your Bombs, your
Urban
Brews, that's why they've been able to be there for, Urban Brew has been there. They were the founders of SABC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've
So now
got
there's
an interesting history,
Yes.
Urban Brew, in terms of how they entered SABC. But
So
that's
now-
a conversation for another day.
Now it becomes your responsibility to have the right team to help you now run the ship. And who are the key people in running a successful production company?
The first things first, you need to have a vision. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm passionate about this thing. I'm the driver of this thing. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, what determines more shows is nothing but quality. You know what I mean? If you are a great storyteller, your quality is impeccable. And also you can obviously sell and you can make hits, understanding of the craft. You can't just, shows just they don't just come. You know what I mean? You got to understand the craft so well so that you create hits. And when you create hits, numbers don't lie. Remember, broadcasters are owned by accountants. They're interested in the numbers, nothing more, nothing less. So if you're creating a hit for me, I'm going to give you more shows because you're making me more money. You're giving me more market share, you see, within the industry. And that's why the most key individual is the driver, which is basically your, usually it's the owner of the business. You know what I mean? If you look at Bomb, your key individual is Angus. is a creative.
Shout out to Desiree. Shout out
Shout
to
out
Angus.
to Desiree. Shout out to
to
Angus.
Bra Debs. I heard Debs is no longer at Bomb, but wherever you go, Grootman, all the best.
And
Thank you for all the great work you've done in the industry.
Oh man, I've got a bone to pick with Debs though. You know what I mean? I love that guy. He's the one who got me into this industry. You know what I mean? Via Yizo.
Same here. He gave me my first acting gig.
I remember you. I remember you. You know what I mean? That man is
sure.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But why I've got a bone to pick with him is he left me at Yizo. I was like, yo, what's next from this orc? I followed him everywhere because his mind on Yizo was insane. And then he got into commercials.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He created some content and all sorts of things, but, you know, he got into commercials, I'd say too soon. Because as you know, no one remembers the guy who did the tampon ad. You know what I mean?
I get you.
Yeah.
But Debs has always been a maverick, though.
Yes.
You know?
He's always been a maverick. You know what I mean? And I just can't wait for his next
move.
His next Game of Thrones.
Because the last time I spoke to him, he was telling me about the Shaka Zulu that they're doing in the KZN.
Yeah.
But then I just recently heard that apparently he's not a part of it.
He's not directing, you know what I mean?
I'm
and remember,
Debs is not a part of Shaka Zulu.
You get what I'm saying?
What an iconic production.
So it's that. I don't know what the politics are and
But
all
anyway,
sorts of things, but, you know, as a creator, that's why, you know, that's why I'm saying, you know, the key creators, those are the drivers. Those are the most important, the rainmakers. I call them the rainmakers. You know what I mean? Those are the guys that make sure they go and get business because you can sell the creative. Remember, a creative is bought in the first 2 minutes of a pitch. Nothing more, nothing less. You know what I mean? It's in the first 2 minutes where they determine whether they're going to give you the business or not. Because they can see, first of all, this man is passionate. There's no way he's going to let it go. And remember, if I'm working for an organization, I'm not as passionate as the owner of the organization.
Yes.
You understand? You can't feel the heart. When I'm here and I'm selling, I'm going, my brother, my whole life depends on this project.
Yeah.
This is me. That's why I connect with this project. So that's the first individual that you need. And then the director. Your director is the guy that is going to basically take your concept or the vision that's going to bring it out to life. He's going to bring it to life.
That's the director.
That's the director. And then the director, you need to basically, and the director needs to say, okay, I've seen your vision. I've seen your scripts. You know what I mean? I need to basically take this vision of yours and give it a visual reference. Now your DOP. Usually I work with, I've got 3 DOP. I mean, I discovered one DOP. I've worked with her probably, you know, I can't, she's my first option. That's Khaupi. I don't know if you know Khaupi, the lady who shot Lockdown.
I know Khaupi.
You know what I mean? I mean, you know,
Black excellence.
Every concept I come up with, you know what I mean? That's my right-hand DOP. And then another one that I worked with was Utian. You know what I mean? He's another DOP that I'm like, wow. And then I've just recently worked with, Tate, that's one of my boys. You know what I mean? And then I've got a young man that's working at Blackstone now. Ulavelani, Lovers. Amazing. Those are your people, because at the end of the day, you can sell me the story. You know what I mean? The huge story of this world. And then I bring someone, a DOP, awuboni nakahle, awuboni ini, and then you are like, dude, amazing script, amazing direction. Where's the sound? Where's the picture? You can't even see. So that's why your DOP is really key. And then after that, they are going to then crew up. They want to bring back, they bring the lighting guys, because
they know the people that they usually work with.
I cannot dictate to
who
DOP
they want to work with. Yes.
Who should be their lighting guy.
As long as you've got these strikers in
I've got the 3. Me, I know what. So when I get a production, I get my head writer. I get my head writer. So head writer, right, they put together the writing team. So now can you imagine a writing team that needs to produce content for every day? That needs to be a big room. So let me give you an idea. Just on Deep City, we've got about 12 writers.
Wow.
That's a room that meets every week, twice a week. And they're churning out scripts every day. So your head writer is key. After I bring my head writer, I bring in my director. And when I bring in my director, nice thing about the director, he's going to then bring in your first AD, your second AD, that's his directing team. And then DOP brings in his gaffers, his grips teams, and that becomes the team's game. And then from there, you won't get a below par production. You'll always get a high-end production. And what happens is guys want to cut costs. And my man, cheap is expensive. Because now you cut costs, you're a new production company, you just got to, you see the contract is that big, and then you hire guys because they're cheap, and then it kills you. Because you only
compromises your quality.
You get one, and then broadcaster goes, my man, you know what, quality is not all right, we'll take it and give it back to Black Brain. Or, you know what, the numbers are not there because of your quality, one season, done. Can you imagine? You've worked so hard, you've got one season.
Cheap is expensive.
Cheap has cost you so much, man. And that's what it is. That's the industry, my brother. And those are your three anchors that you need in terms of starting a new production.
And then a fully fledged production, say for instance, a Lockdown or Deep City, roughly how many people would you employ?
As Black
Brain,
we employ just over 1,000 people a year.
Jesus.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Just over 1,000 people a year.
Yeah, and then we've been doing that. We've been doing that for over
10 years, bro.
Yeah, over 10, 15 years now.
I've been a fan. I've been watching you all these years.
Over 10, 15 years.
So I'm proud of you, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you're so open to share this information with younger cats because it's important. For me, this is not an interview; it's a masterclass.
If I got this information within my first year within production, I'd be very far. And I'd be watching I was watching a lot of, white people really share information. You know what I mean? And when you are at after, the minute you leave after, you watch these white guys that you started with, now they directing big shows. When you're still hustling, because remember, they don't trust a black guy first chucks. You understand? They'll leave you.
Now at 19, bro. You were actually one of the lucky few at the time.
I was very lucky. And I remember, I'm lucky within within SABC. And remember, I'm a project. I was a project, a case study. Is he going to work? You know what I mean? Yeah, we're risking with black. I was the first black, but we are risking. But the whole thing was, is it going to work? You know what I mean? And for me, I was like, no, definitely I'm going to work. I'm going to utilize this thing. And also as well, the more you build mantras in your head, which, you've done that a whole lot. You know what I mean? There's nothing like speaking to yourself 24/7. 3 proposals a week. What's yours will never miss you. The more you learn, the more you realize how little you know. Those are things that you constantly put within your mind 24/7. And if you are not going to do that at your prime, and your prime, is from like immediately when you finish high school all the way till 35, 40. You know what I mean? Now we've entered our new prime.
And now we're starting to enjoy the fruits of all of the hard work we've done as Indoana. I'm not benefiting off of the DJ Smooth brand that I've built.
You've built it over there.
I'm
benefiting off the Black Brain brand that I've built. You know what I mean? I'm benefiting off that, and I've been benefiting off that. But can you imagine if I did not have the energy when I was a youngster? And remember, when you're a youngster, you are losing money every day. You know what I mean? We used to do shows where you travel to Cape Town. When you get there, you buy clothes there anyway, to just so that you've got new clothes.
Sometimes exposure.
Yes,
I'm just giving you exposure.
It's exposure.
Yeah.
And but you don't understand the importance of retaining that money and making every investment.
Paying your school fees, ne?
Yeah.
That's earning your dues, doing your 10,000 hours.
That's your 10,000 hours. And, you have to basically earn your dues. And right now, I'm looking at my family. I've got my kids, and I'm going, no, man, I need to basically, they need to come on set. They need to, they're young now, you know what I mean? I've got a 12-year-old and a 13-year-old, but I'm teaching them like I teach the 18-year-olds, the guys that are coming out of film school.
I like the fact that you're a pro. Yeah, shy TV boy. No cross umsindo nje uyazi ukuthi ngithi kancane.
I just
it's so nice to work with professionals.
I don't want to make his job difficult later because I know it's going to be difficult. You know what I mean? Yeah. And also they're going to be very frustrated. I didn't get that. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, with my little ones, they need to come to set with daddy. They need to sit on the director's chair because remember, leadership is a mindset. It's not really, the education. When they sit in those chairs, they realize that, okay, cool. geez, I can speak to so many people. Oh, Daddy, this is what Daddy does. He commands so many individuals. I need to do that. Sometimes I'll go, okay, you hold the walkie-talkie, you speak, okay, cool. Say, sit down, baby. Sit down. You understand? It's something that they have to grow up with because we never had that.
I do the same with my daughter.
You have to, man.
Yeah.
And Pelama time, you know what I mean? When you come and hang with them, shy face.
Yeah.
Why? So now, it's just that mindset of going, no, this is yours, man. This is yours. This is you. You need to be a leader in life. You need to command people. You need to be articulate. You need to be clear, because then if you are not clear, can you see how many people are here? And if you are not clear, it means they're all not clear, So it's that type of thing that, now I'm passionate about in terms of making sure that I do these workshops, I do all these things, because I'm here with you now and I've got 3 productions going at the same time and everything is moving smoothly because of the knowledge that are imparted. People are shooting every day at Black Brain. Yeah,
and congratulations, you've eventually opened up your big, amazing studios out in the side of town.
And hey, my man, I'm really blessed, in terms of that, because it's not 1 now, it's 2 in a space of a year and a half.
Oh, it's 2 now.
Yeah, it's 2 farms. It's 2 farms.
Boy. That's so inspiring.
Yeah, man. And I'd love to basically take you on a tour so that you can see pretty much everything else. It's kind of like, we were always doing business differently. We would get a commission and things like that, and then you go to Diep, you miss him auto, you're trying to shoot and all of that. It doesn't benefit you. So it's better, you buy a farm, you build imikuku, you build your own Diep and you shoot there. You build your own studio, inside, and you shoot there. You understand? Which is what
Tyler Perry has done.
Yeah, you know what I mean? This is Eben Prue used to do that back in the day. I mean, you remember Eben Prue? The guys would shoot 4 or 5 shows a day. One DOP.
I mean, I remember at some point I shot 4 friends like these episodes in one day.
In one day. Can you imagine when you're shooting 4 episodes in one day?
Production running almost 6.
You understand?
Yeah.
And as a DOP there at Eben Prue, I would shoot friends like this, and then after that you shoot another show here, and then you shoot another show once a month.
But because that's what I've negotiated, at least no secure for a longer period.
For a long time.
Yes.
But remember, for how they bill is they billing for friends like these for DDD for DDD. Yeah. So that's where they make their money.
And that's what is going to be my next question. But then how does a production company make money? Because yes, you want to employ all these people, you want to deliver great content, but also you are a business. You have to make money.
In America and other countries, they've got a huge support of the government. You know what I mean? A government will identify with the chiefs. Guys, you know what? You've got Steven Spielberg. He needs to basically make sure that he sells our culture as America. We need to be the best Americans in the world. How are we supporting Steven Spielberg and his entire movement? You understand? And then they finance him. They make sure that they give him the big picture. They give him big everything, And then you've got, institutions such as within South Africa, you've got institutions such as AfriForum. You know what I mean? AfriForum have got an arm where they basically fund Afrikaans stories, Afrikaans movies, and all of that because they want to preserve and preserve their culture.
Afrikaans culture.
The
Afrikaans
culture. They want to preserve.
And Roots was telling us the other day they've just launched AfriForum TV.
Yeah, you understand. So and then within South Africa, because we are such a young democracy, and also as well, within our leaders, we're still really getting educated around this industry and also our culture. I mean, if you look at us right now, we seldomly speak Venek. And that's our culture, you know what I mean? And if our government is not going, guys, how many movies that are Venek that Mandla is making? No, he needs to make 2 movies every year. We need to preserve our culture. We need to make Soweto content every year or Tembisa content, We need to preserve what are we doing? You understand? Because what's going to happen is you see it now. A lot of the content is moving towards English, you know what I mean? With Netflix. As much as we can't have too much Venek, let's move towards English a bit. So now you're losing the preservation of our culture because our government is not supporting it. Our government is not, they haven't woken up to the fact that, you know what, once this gets extinct, you've got nothing to export. You've got nothing to export. You know what I mean? You can't be a better English speaker than a British guy. You know what I mean? You can't be a better American speaker than an American guy. Even if you do go to America, it's still their culture. That's them, So that's why we need our government to really support our industry. Like right now, we're moving towards a new era of podcasts, of digital TV, of all of that. As government, I need to identify that, geez, the Hustlers Corner is actually pioneering something new. Don't look at it now. Think about it in 20 years' time. That is going to be a pioneer. It's going to be like Microsoft. Look at Microsoft. Microsoft, when they started, it was like, what the hell is this? What's the internet? What's all of that? What's Facebook? But now they are icons because they started something new, differently in an era. You know what I mean? Now you're moving into the whole crypto, everything, but we don't have the intelligence as our government to get, you know what, guys? This man is onto something. It may not be anything, but remember, we're moving towards a different era. You know what I mean? It's a different era altogether. Broadcast is ending. You know what I mean? Now it's going all digital and and you've got these new individuals that are pioneering this, and yet you are frustrating their growth. You must never ever do that, because America did not do that to the Mark Zuckerbergs and all of those people and the Microsofts and everything. Their government supported them. You know what I mean? Trump won his elections through Facebook. You understand? Because of the support of structures. We need our leaders to basically conquer the world. We will never do it on our own. You know what I mean? But they need to understand that we need them. We are dying out here. You know what I mean? Because what's going to happen is you're going to get a huge a white conglomerate that's going to come into the space because of funds. They're going to get all the token blacks, and then they've killed a vision of one of ours. You know what I mean?
I get you. You can get funding from the government. That's the one way. You can stretch your finances such that at least you employ your staff longer, coming up with different ways of being smart with your money as a production company. But I'm sure there's also other revenue streams that you can create around running a production company such that it's profitable through partnerships. And how has Black Brain been able to do such?
You know what?
Because we're talking about the money
yes.
now. Guys, remember, we're
Money.
still on the question of how does one make money as a production company?
Yeah.
You partnered with not only government, but other companies as well.
And remember, within government, I'm offering communication services. You understand? So I've had to diversify. So within a production company, you have to diversify. You get other production companies. They'll have a long form, which is traditional TV, and then they'll have the ads. They'll have, which is the commercials arm, and then they'll have the communications arm, which is obviously government speaking, those communication campaigns and things like that. And Tina, what we have done, obviously within Black Brain, we do have a communications arm that focuses on communication within South Africa. Our huge footprint is in the transport sector, you know what I mean? So basically awareness, safety on the roads and all of that. We're really passionate about that because, we travel, we're from an era where we travel. If you've got shows, you've got music, you've got all of that. So that was our entry point within the government space. And then we've got the whole traditional TV. The traditional TV, the nice thing about that is we've got great relationships with broadcasters, and remember, great relationships with broadcasters comes with the fact that you can create hits. If you can't create hits, there's no great relationship with a broadcaster.
It's like as a musician as well.
Yeah.
As a musician, it's like as a soccer player.
Yeah.
You must be a hit.
You must
deliver.
You must deliver. You know what I mean? So there at least, we always hiring fresh creatives, getting in young guys, finding out where the next story is. We're reading books. We are partnering with, people that write books. There's a book that I'm excited about now that we are in the process of signing. Obviously, that's going to come out and that's going to be huge. You know what I mean? We're signing that books to create content, to turn into content. And that's what, as a kind of like, a creative and running a production company, I have to do. Where's the next story? Where's the next book? Where's the next telenovela and things like that? And then also using all those funds to invest. And now in terms of our interest of investments, it's property. Our term, it's within obviously the property space, the education space, the equipment space, yes.
Let's also talk about some of the things that people see from time to time when they watch TV or they watch film or movies. Production, product placement.
Mm-hmm.
How do those relationships happen? And do those companies that do product placements of their, I'm watching a James Bond movie, I'm seeing an Aston Martin there, or I'm seeing an Audi, I'm seeing a Giorgio Armani, whatever, I'm seeing a Cartier pen, I'm seeing a Tag watch. How does that work, and how do the commercials there work?
All right. That's very key. That's how brands come into play within our industry, And so what we do is we've done it recently with some of our shows where we've got we're doing it now with a petroleum brand. We've just finished one with a insurance brand. We're about to start one now with a foods brand.
So this is when it doesn't just become a normal ad. It gets worked into the story.
Yes. So we call it script integration.
Script integration. Oh,
Yeah.
That's a smart way of marketing your clients.
It is.
And then you do a deal with them, they pay, right?
Remember, right now, the traditional ads, that industry is basically not, I wouldn't say ending, but obviously, it's losing its market share slowly but surely, because you as Boo can pause your TV and go relax, go to the bathroom, come back, play. When it's an ad, fast forward.
Yeah, so
when it's this,
we did an ad. Sorry to disturb you. An interview with MacGyver and Saul.
Yeah.
And a lot of the and then on the interview with Penyo and MacGyver and Saul, we discussed how people can or should support podcasts that they feel they're extracting value from. And a lot of the comments there saying, oh, wow, we didn't know that we're not supporting you guys properly when we skip ads. We didn't know that when we are watching your podcast, we should watch the ads as well. And that's how you guys get paid there. We also didn't know that we can actually even join to become members and pay you guys R9.99 every month, or R99.99 every month. And a lot of them were saying, we are extracting so much value from Podcast and Chill. Some of them were saying even from the Hustlers Corner, Virtual Mkuku, so much so that we don't mind paying you guys 10 rands every month. Now, there's new ways that are coming up from this podcast space on how we are starting to learn how to monetize this space. And I love your explanation around this. Sorry, continue. Sorry to disturb you.
And now, if they are saying to you, we didn't know that we're getting paid when we're skipping ads, what does that mean?
No, we didn't know that you are not getting paid when we skip the ads.
So
and a lot of them were saying, now we want to start watching the ads so we can support you guys.
So now, but the opportunity is, how do you integrate the brand onto your podcast?
I get you now. So for instance, now I can get a campaign and I can incorporate it into our storytelling, because this is storytelling.
You see, that's what they're saying to you. So now, in terms of selling,
because they skip the ad, so now let's work it into this conversation.
You know what I mean?
And get the clients, giving them good value for their money. I get you.
Yeah, and that's what they're basically saying, or even basically do a mini little city here, that has a billboard, that has this, that has all of that, and then you change your billboards, you know what I mean?
The same way alcohol companies pay taverns to have their brand on the wall and whatever. So maybe we can have a whatever brand.
Done.
And we know that brand pays us a certain amount of money every episode.
So that's what the TV industry is basically doing right now, and we are moving. We're heavily on the forefront of that.
Script
integration. So basically, it's script integration, and within script integration, sometimes let's say, one of our characters, wheels or shayisa moto accident, insurance. Then you've got a nice little insurance whole thing around that. You know what I mean? And then maybe if one of our characters is, has got ambitions of being a mechanic. You understand? Then, Tina, there's companies such as an petroleum brand. This is how they supporting townships, and one of your characters become that candidate. You know what I mean? It's integrated within the script. And remember, you got to do that very tastefully. There's an art to that because sometimes it can get distasteful. You know what I mean?
Where the audience gets pissed off.
Where the audience is like, what the hell, guys? Jeez, yo, what's happening here? So how do you do it very smart? Like, i.e., did you know that the head transformer on Transformers is a Chevy?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Smartly done.
Smartly done. You know what I mean? And Futi, now, Peter, that's an iconic movie. That's how Chevy launched one of their biggest cars. Mini with, remember the
with
lady,
Charlize Theron, the Italian job. I remember.
That's how they launched the Mini. You know what I mean?
Even Guma movie got Jason Statham in Audi. I used to see it a lot.
Audi is a lot, you know. Also, and sometimes they can, you see with America, they know how to build brands to a point where
it's nicely done. It's clean. I very enjoy obvious ukuthi mo fire. Ivela ngenye indlela engathi classy.
Because now what happens? I'm on fire now.
No. Sengisho bona ngendlela yabo. Mina uyangazi ngaggressive. Ngishaya isilokishi mina ngishaya live. No, but I know what you mean. It must be done in a certain way.
Yeah.
Tasteful still.
Remember,
it might be too much.
Remember there was that whole thing on Game of Thrones. There was a Starbucks cup, the whole world. Do you think Starbucks did not pay for that?
Yeah. I even remember at some point Cristiano Ronaldo, I don't know if it was a press conference or something. I don't know, he was chiefing a Coke can or something. Yeah. And the whole world spoke about it. It's like, oh, so it can be done in a nice way.
But now you need creatives like that.
Creatives, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because what happens is, and those are not traditional advertisers.
Yeah.
You need creatives that understand TV. Yeah. You know what I mean? They need to come from TV because you need to. It's a fine line between techie and that was tasteful. That was nice. I didn't even notice that. You know. So Nati, I mean, it's a new space for us. So we're trying to be tasteful while promoting the brand.
Wow, man. There's so much to talk about. Guys, this wasn't an interview today. I'm looking forward to doing a proper TV masterclass. What about Fate? Lizwakale Fate. Thank you, Fate. No, angengikhohle. That's why ngithi indawo yamahasla le uyadingeka nawe la. Thank you, put. Sure. No, we're still in the. Lelo Ken alfuneke, lelo Ken. Spuza lela ngithi thina. More fine. No, it's fine. Roll, it's fine.
Yeah.
Umlilo.
Woza ngayisi uzomtshela Grand beka riding there.
Yeah, on camera, yeah. Because this is also content, you know what I mean? It's good content, sure.
Utufuna ukwenzani bro? Nyakuzwa phela uyaringa.
Yeah, sure.
Utufuna ukwenzani? Bajele bonke bamamela.
Usibumela sim support, it's got a good product, you know? What I want to suggest, Bo, if you could make this smaller, maybe 330.
Yes.
And you can deliver at my coffee shop, we'll support you, we'll sell the product. It's a good product. It's just like sometimes this looks.
Yes. Yeah, especially for lifestyle.
For lifestyle.
Those smaller cans.
That's a play.
But you know, you share is konkosi.
Uzonghafa for leyo nto mongayenza bro izogijima.
Sure.
Yeah. Uzokhuluma.
And as pushy business yakho, where is the business? How do people find it?
The business is Orlando West, Soweto, Vilakazi. It's called Vilakazi Espresso. You'll see it is very bright. It's got Ndebele colors. Anyone is allowed to come. Please come support us.
Mine is protected kanjani thina sithanda ama-tavern.
Soweto kumele sigcwalise manje ama-tavern more than kumele sigcwalise ama-coffee shop more than ama-tavern.
I like that. What is just said is, that statement is very rich.
Powerful.
Because coffee becomes an experience. Yeah. An experience become meetings, become a meeting of minds, become a sharing of ideas.
Definitely.
And all lot more. Thank you, Bafethu. Askhuleni. Makavuka udaki phambili ngodaki. Vilakazi Express.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bafethu. How beautiful was that? We've just plugged another local business.
Know what I mean?
You know
and
what
also as well, I thought that was very, I'm sure, surely you've also thought about it, but I thought, that was I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
Having
very
a
normal
smaller
idea.
can, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, we've been working on it.
Oh yeah,
Farmer
that's what I'm saying. When you are in, you
hotels,
know
you know what I mean? Yeah, that
yeah.
market. So we've been working on it.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he's saying something that we've been working
it.
on.
Oh, so you know already what they are waiting for it.
That space, yeah. Because now I'm the actual market.
Yeah.
Nangendaweni, angifuni ukuyobha icanal engakele
I got you. Yeah, you want a nice sex one.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So okay. I know what he's talking about.
All right. Okay, cool.
So what I was saying to you, Mindlo Suguti, I would like for us to still do a proper filmed masterclass like the one you're going to do at the end of the week, because I do know how many people are going to love this episode today. Because a lot of them say, I tend to film the TV drama and all of that, but we watch from the outside. We don't know from the inside.
Yeah.
And even the business of it, you know? So I'm just saying a lot of aspiring young guys out there want to get into film, creating of television, etc. I think they're going to enjoy this episode. But number two, apart from us filming a masterclass, I also would still like to do your proper story, but we'll do it one day. But I just wanted to thank you. And thank you for changing so many lives, for employing so many people, but still keeping your humility and being approachable to also want to reach out and teach other younger guys. So
no, I appreciate that. Obviously, I mean, as you know, as much as you push more fire, I've got products that I need to push. So with your permission, can I push my products?
Let's go right ahead.
All right.
Sure.
Okay. The first.
And congratulations, Black Door, by the way.
Black Door, that's the one that I want to push the most, guys. Without you guys, you know, we are nothing. You know what I mean?
Wazy is on this camera,
yeah. Yeah. Without you guys, we are nothing. Please. 9:30 every day, ETV. You need to watch The Black Door. It's risque, it's new, it's got amazing storylines. You need to watch The Black Door at 9:30 ETV. And then those of you who've been supporting Deep City, please continue doing that at 8:30 at Mzansi Magic. Mara, ngicela nje niye ku Black Door 9:30. Ngiyabonga. Please, just for that nje, ne?
Yeah.
And
last messages to Amachita Young out there who are going through the most. It's tough. Unemployment rate is sitting at over, I think now it's like 70%. That's really bad. I mean, Intwana said we have to speak to them.
70%.
Kutazi Intwana, it's bad, bro. It's bad.
Man. Gents, you know, as cliche as it may be, I want to say, you know what I mean? That's a huge statement. It's a huge loaded statement. And I don't want you guys to basically look at that statement and look at it from a surface point of view. Ninga Pelumoya is a very deep-rooted statement, because once you lose that hope, once you lose that spirit, it basically crushes you. It crushes everything else. And tomorrow is still another day, because what's yours will never miss you. As much as it's 70% right now in terms of unemployment rate, we need to make sure that we bring it down. And as Black Brain, I'm coming to every single corner within South Africa. You know, I'm doing another big show, and I'm going to make sure, Guti, I'm going to basically try and decrease that 70%. And I'm giving you guys my word, but I need you, Ugutunga Pelumoya. I need you to basically be all right and keep that fire, that spirit, and research and go get your dreams. I know it's hard, but you need to go get your dreams. And I'm going to assist you and meet you halfway.
Lastly, hi, I'm Mandla Ndimande, founder of What, and I've just been hustled by DJ Sbu on the Hustlers Corner.
Choba Fwetu, my name is Mandla N, and I'm the founder of Black Brain Pictures, and I've just been hustled by DJ Sbu, the founder of Hustlers Corner. Hola.
Thank you, son. But the thank means thank you.
This is the Hustlers Corner.